there, this is Jen Kitzmiller. I'm a meteorologist here at the National Weather Service in Missoula, and I have your planning briefing for October 6th of 2019. So to get things started, we do have a winter-like weather system coming up, and so I'm going to be focusing the briefing mainly on that winter period that's coming up here Tuesday into Wednesday. A few of the highlights I have listed here. It's going to be a change to an abnormally cold air mass. We're expecting a period of some gusty winds, especially across northwest Montana. Some moderate to heavy snowfall along the Continental Divide with periods of blowing snow on some of the mountain passes. Light snow looks possible even into most valleys by Wednesday morning. And then there's potential to see a little bit heavier snow over the Camas Prairie and much colder as we get into mid next week. So those are some of the highlights. I'm going to go into some of the details here as we move forward, and I'm going to focus by region. So if you want to just stay tuned or fast forward to the part in the briefing that addresses your area of concern, please feel free to do that. So I'm going to start with northwest Montana. We're going to start seeing some impacts from this winter-like system on Tuesday, primarily along the Continental Divide and at Marias Pass, where we'll see moderate to heavy snow begin sometime Tuesday morning. As far as the valleys go, it's going to be warm enough at that point where they should be all rain, but we will slowly see snow levels start to lower. And they should get down to about Essex by the time we get into Tuesday afternoon. The other thing we're going to see during this period is we have some much colder air coming south out of Canada. So we will begin to see gusty north to northeast winds develop midday Tuesday, and those will last into Tuesday night. Now, as we move into Tuesday night, we're going to continue to see moderate snow from generally Highway 2 Essex to Marias Pass and in the higher terrain. This same area will also see rapidly dropping temperatures. So it's possible that we'll see a period of a freeze up of those wet, slushy conditions on the roadways on Highway 2 between Essex and Marias Pass. Those gusty north to northeast winds will continue, and snow levels will lower during this period so that as we get into Wednesday morning, snow should be down to all of the lowest valleys. Now, as we get into Wednesday, it does look like the snow intensity will taper off pretty quickly in the higher terrain and over the mountain passes through the morning. And as you can see on the graphic here, we're really not anticipating a lot of snow into the valleys. It looks like those northeast winds should keep a lot of the moisture from adding up as much as maybe previous models have shown us, but it's something to keep an eye on. It wouldn't take too much of a change to see these values in the valleys bump up a little bit more. So for northwest Montana, I think the main real period of impact is going to be from Tuesday afternoon through Tuesday night. Here's a look at what the temperature trend is going to do. You'll see pretty big changes there. For Kalispell, 60s on Monday afternoon, and then as we get into Wednesday, we'll be seeing some below freezing temperatures. And then similar for Marias Pass, 48 Monday afternoon, and then it looks like sometime Tuesday afternoon or evening they drop below freezing, and going out through the end of the week, it does not look like we'll see temperatures rise above freezing again. And here's a look at the wind gust potential in that period I was talking about. So this will really be Tuesday afternoon through Tuesday evening when we think we'll see some of the strongest gusts. So you could see in general winds 30 to 40 miles per hour look possible, especially through those favorite areas like Bad Rock Canyon. Another thing to point out is we'll have some northerly flow over the lake, over Flathead Lake. And so we could see gusts 30 to 40 miles per hour in that area as well, which could lead to some large waves, especially on the south side of the lake which could cause some impacts to docks down there. Moving into southwest Montana, the impacts for this area, we're really not expecting to really get going until Tuesday evening into Wednesday. On Tuesday itself, we will see some breezy west winds, so especially that Deer Lodge down to Butte area along Interstate 90 could see some strong crosswinds across the roadway there. We'll also see some light snow beginning on McDonald and Homestake Pass. But it's really that Tuesday evening into overnight period where we're going to start seeing things change pretty rapidly. We'll have moderate to heavy snow developing on McDonald and Homestake Pass. With that, there will be some gusty northeast winds, so blowing snow and drifting on those passes will be a possibility. And as we go through the evening, snow levels will be dropping so that overnight, virtually all the valleys should transition over to snow in this time frame. And then as we get into Wednesday, we will see those temperatures drop rapidly through the morning hours. So any roads that remain wet or slushy could see a possible freeze up of icy conditions on roadways. Light to moderate snow does look like it'll continue through the morning commute. You can see most valley locations we have anywhere from 3 to 6 inches of snow with higher amounts on the passes. And snow will continue through the day, but it should lighten up, especially as we get into the evening hours. Here's a good look at temperatures and how they're going to be changing. Again, we're looking at 50s and 60s Monday afternoon, and then you could see by the time we get out to Thursday morning, we have lows in the single digits. So a significant change in temperatures during this time frame. And here's a look at potential wind gusts. This may actually be a little bit underdone, but I think expecting 30 to 40 mile per hour winds over McDonald Pass down into Garrison Junction is a possibility. So some localized areas of blowing snow. Now we'll shift to west central Montana. Again, west central Montana, I don't think we're really going to feel the bigger impacts with this system until late Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. On Tuesday, we will see some breezy west winds and some rain that could be light to moderate at times. As we transition into Tuesday evening and the overnight hours, we will see the passes such as Lookout Pass and Lolo Pass, Lost Trail Pass, starting to see some snow. We also are expecting to see those gusty north and northeast winds work their way into this part of western Montana. So again, we could see some gusts 30 to 40 miles per hour. Snow levels will be gradually lowering in the overnight period into the valleys, and we could see a period of some localized blowing snow out near Drummond, Clearwater Junction. By Wednesday, snow levels will bring snow all the way down into the valleys for the Wednesday morning commute. It is cold enough to snow everywhere with this system. As you can see, we're really not calling for a lot of snow in the valleys, generally 1, maybe up to 2 inches of snow. That's going to largely depend on how strong those northeast winds are. So at the time being, we're not calling for a big snow event, but it is a big change and still pretty early in the season to see snow down in the valleys. So we wanted to highlight that. Moderate snow will continue for the southern passes on Wednesday, particularly Lost Trail Pass, but we should start seeing that intensity taper off further north for Lookout and Lolo Pass. And in general, winds and snow will decrease through the day on Wednesday. Here's a look at temperature trends. Similar trends to what we've been seeing in other areas here. As we get into north central Idaho, Tuesday we'll see breezy west winds and rain that could be light to moderate at times. By Tuesday evening and into the overnight period, that's when we'll really see light to moderate snow developing on the passes. Snow will lower to the higher valleys in the overnight period down to about 3,000 feet. And one thing in particular that we've been keeping an eye on is the Camas Prairie. There are some of our forecast models that are indicating a period of some moderate snow could develop late Tuesday night. And if that was the case, the snow amounts could actually end up being a little bit higher than what we have listed here for Grangeville and the Camas Prairie. So just something to keep in mind. We don't have a lot of confidence in that at this time, but it's something that some of the newer model solutions are hinting at, so we wanted to mention it. As we get into Wednesday, light snow will be possible in the valleys during the morning commute, and it will be cold enough to snow down to about 1,500 feet. Those of you in Orofino will be right on the line. It's possible things could come down just enough to give Orofino a little dusting of snow as well. And as I mentioned, there is that potential for moderate snow to continue over the Camas Prairie into Wednesday morning. During Wednesday, we should see winds become more breezy from the north to northeast, and moderate snow may continue for the higher terrain and the mountain passes well into the afternoon on Wednesday. And then as we go into Wednesday evening, we should see the wind and snow decrease. Here's a look at the temperature trends in that area. And finally, last but not least, Lemhi County. Tuesday, similar thing where we'll just see the breezy west winds and light rain beginning. As we get into Tuesday evening and Tuesday night, that's when we'll start to see light to moderate snow develop for the higher terrain and over the passes. So generally above 4,500 feet. Lost Trail Pass comes to mind. Light to moderate valley rain will occur at this point in the valleys, and we'll have a breezy northwest wind. As we get into Wednesday, snow levels will lower to valleys during the morning commute. It will be cold enough to snow everywhere, and our forecast models have actually been trending a little bit wetter in the morning Wednesday. So what we have here for snow amounts, it's possible these could actually even end up going just a little bit higher. That's something we're keeping an eye on, but it does look like all elevations will be snowing Wednesday morning. Those breezy north winds will continue, and it is possible we could see some blowing snow, particularly over Gilmore Summit. It looks like there's potential for moderate snow to continue in the higher terrain and the mountain passes into the afternoon hours. And then as we get into the evening time frame, it does look like the wind and snow should gradually decrease. And here's a look at temperature trends in that area. So for all areas, once we get past Wednesday and into Thursday, the main highlight is really going to be much colder temperatures. And in fact, it even looks quite a bit colder than the last cold system we had to end September. So you can see afternoon highs on Wednesday will, in a lot of cases, only be in the 30s in western Montana and upper 30s to low 40s in Idaho. And then for Thursday morning lows, we are expecting a widespread hard freeze with some locations near the Continental Divide down into the single digits. So it's going to be abnormally cold for this time of year. It does look like as we move into the latter part of the week, we should see a gradual increase in temperatures, but still remaining below normal. And here's a look at the weather threat matrix. Again, we really highlighted northwest Montana and southwest Montana, especially for those areas right along the Continental Divide where we're going to see the biggest change in temperatures, the most significant snow, and the most significant wind. So that's all I had for you guys today. Just as a reminder, we are producing these briefings 3 times a week on Tuesday, Thursday, and Sundays. So we'll plan to give you guys an update on Tuesday, and in the meantime, feel free to give us a call if you have any questions. Thank you.